Yo, what's good people? It is Thursday night. That means it is time for collecting Uncensored. Now, with this time of the year that we're in, and with my honey being very adamant about wanting to interview me, I felt like this would be a great time to sit there and do that. So, I think this would be a really fun, fantastic night. I think y'all will have a blast. I think we'll do a lot of laughing, which I think will be great. And so my guest tonight is not just the guest, but is going to be the guest host as she interviews me this evening. So let me go ahead and bring out my honey, Mrs. 22.
My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds, relaxing wiggle wiggle, for sure, make me wanna dribble dribble. You know, riding in my Fiat, you really have to see it.
That's great. That's awesome.
My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds, relaxing wiggle wiggle, for sure, make me wanna dribble dribble. You know, riding in my Fiat, you really have to see it.
That's the best one that's ever been. Everybody needs that one from now on. That's awesome.
I didn't have one for females. You're the first female to come on the show, which is very fitting. So because you're my honey, so I'm good with that.
That's so funny.
I thought so.
I like that. That's too funny. All right. Are you ready?
Well, hold on one second. Let's we got people in the chat, so let's say hello to them real quick.
I can't see the chat.
Oh, I apologize. You should be able to see it. Go click on comments. You don't want it the private.
Oh, there it
yeah,
is.
there they are.
There it is.
So, Las Cruces, as always. Hello from New Mexico. What's going on, man? Appreciate you coming out. He says, "Good evening, Mrs. 22 and 22. What's going on, homie? Appreciate you. We got the comic collector coach in the house. What's going on, man? Appreciate you coming hanging out this evening." And we've got Rich from Comic Cap Collectibles. What's going on, homie? Appreciate you. So, I do have one question for you before we get started.
Yes.
Why the interest in interviewing me for this?
I just think it would be fun. Like, I think you do. I know how much you collect, and it's a lot. I don't know, and I really do think I enjoy. Like, I know zero about comic books, but that's a lie. I feel like I know a decent amount sometimes. But I feel like you usually have a lot of good like insight, and you know so much of the background, and you've just got so much stuff that you know, and I just think it would be cool just for you to get a chance to kind of show off your stuff because everybody else always gets to.
Oh, well, all right then.
I just thought it'd be cool.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Black Spiders in the house. Merry Christmas to you. Thanks for coming hang out this evening. All right, I'm gonna give you the floor. I'm gonna have controls over the visuals and the chat and all that jazz, just to kind of lighten the load for the misses. And so yeah, but these are all her questions. I don't know any of them other than like what one in particular that I think she's gonna start off with. And outside of that, I have no idea what she's going to ask here at all. We didn't talk about it beforehand. She didn't see her intro beforehand. None of that. All of it's been surprise for both of us. So this should be fun. So.
Hey, look, I dressed up for you.
I know.
I dressed
That's
up.
Awesome. I'm super excited. I did see that beforehand. So
I was prepared. Okay. Are you ready now?
Yes.
Okay. What you got?
That's the one question I knew. I have 22 books. I have my favorite reads. I have I don't want to step all over your questions or whatever. So, but yeah, I have 22 books prepared to show off this evening.
Okay. Cool. So, are you Okay, so when you were picking your books, okay, this is not one of your normal questions, but
Okay.
when you were picking your books, like what made you pick the books that you picked? Is it like because I know sometimes when you collect things, like you either, and this may be everybody, I don't know, but like you either like certain stories, you like certain authors, you like certain artists, you do some covers, some things that so and so said this was a good book, and you're 3 issues in, and you're like, oh, I hate it, but I got to finish it now. So, like, what made you pick the books that you picked?
I tried to get a roundabout what I feel like the main part of my collection looks like right now in this point in time. I feel like that'll change throughout the year, throughout, sometimes the month. It just kind of like, I'm more of a, what I come across, that's kind of what I want to collect. Like, if I find a good deal on some Walking Dead books, because I'm collecting Walking Dead, I'm probably going to go ahead and grab those because they're a good deal. Like, I look for deals before most anything else. And that'll keep me from getting certain books. Like, one of my goals this past year was to get Lone Ranger #1. Well, I haven't picked that up because the price of that has actually steadily gone up for some reason, and I don't know why, other than I feel like it was just underappreciated or undervalued. And that's something I don't usually sit there and say a whole lot, is like undervalued, but for it to go up and then stay up, I feel like it was at that point in time undervalued. So, yeah, I was just trying to give like a solid foundation of like my collecting habits with the things that I enjoy, the things that I try to collect and try to look for, and like my favorites from those parts of how I collect.
Yeah. So why Lone Ranger #1?
Because I want to get Lone Ranger 1 through 35, I think, 36. Because on the back of those Lone Ranger books, they have really awesome like paintings, and Lone Ranger is also the great uncle of, well, some say it's the great grandfather, some say it's the great uncle. It just kind of depends. I think it's more the great uncle than it is the great grandfather. Anyways, of the Green Hornet. Green Hornet is a character I really liked. I was wanting to get into Golden Age books, and I wanted to pick somebody more than just the Green Hornet to collect. And with the Lone Ranger having that connection to the Green Hornet, that's why I leaned towards the Lone Ranger. And I feel like Westerns are highly overlooked as far as Golden Age books go. Like, I get a lot of, I don't get a lot, but I'll find Golden Age Lone Ranger books for 10, 15, like 20 and under. Like, they're when it comes to Golden Age books, they're fairly cheap.
Yeah. Fairly cheap. I guess that depends on who you ask. How many Lone Rangers do you have?
Oh, off the top of my head, maybe 7, maybe.
Including the Christmas one?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's like under 10, I think, is what I have.
So when you, like, I know you'll go to like Second and Charles and stuff like that, and just kind of like hunt and just kind of like see what you can find.
Mm.
But other than that, like when you look for comic books, like I know sometimes like you'll try to complete a run and stuff like that. And so you're trying to look for those things when you can find a deal on them. But outside of like finding deals on things, like do you look more for like complete a run? Do you look more for a cover? Like what kind of collector like would you say you lean more towards being?
It depends on the mood that I'm in that day. It depends on what I feel like either the store or the convention has to offer that day. If I go to a dollar bin, I'm just whatever life throws at me, that's what I look for. Whether it be a cool cover, whether it be a holiday cover for me to give away, whether it be a cool spec book that, I've had my eye on, and I think it'd be a good giveaway book or have, potential in money or whatever the case is. If there's somebody there that has, run books that I'm looking for that are good, like fair priced, then I'm going to go for those. So it really just depends on the place, what it's looking like as far as like what I'm going to actually go and hunt for. I love dollar bins. Absolutely love dollar bins. It's like crack to me. But sometimes the dollar bins aren't hitting and it's just a waste of time. Or it's, if you get to a dollar bin and it's just a mix, it's just like you'll go from DC to Indie to Marvel to A to Z to like, it drives me nuts. And so I'll sit there and I won't spend a lot of time in those because I feel like I'm wasting a lot of time.
Yeah. You like it when it's the buy 5, get 5, and then you come home with a stack like this big and you're like, I got 45 comics.
That's when Second of Charles was actually doing good stuff, though.
Yeah.
Like, they haven't done a good buy 5, get 5 in a long time. Second of Charles has kind of been my go-to to get the Fried Pie variant comics that I like.
Yeah.
So.
Why do you like those so much?
Fried Pies, we haven't shown a book, so.
We haven't. This is still the intro time.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Oh. Fried Pie comics are okay. Fried Pie comics are based out of their publishing company was either the printing place or the publishing company. I can't remember which one. It's based out of Huntsville, Alabama. Fried Pie, yeah. And then Fried Pie is the like variant of choice, or was, for Books A Million / Second and Charles. Second and Charles is the like little brother store to, but like Books A Million owns Second and Charles. Well, Books A Million was founded in Alabama as well. So you had a company that was founded in Alabama printing either printing or having their books published with those covers in Alabama. And so that's why the Fried Pie variant is so like, that was kind of my thing, was because it represents where we're from.
Yeah. Now that you say that, I've heard you say that before. Okay. You have to go to the chat because Phil said hey a while ago.
I was going to say, Phil is in the chat. What's going on, Phil? Thanks for coming and hanging out with us this evening. Black Spiders has a question here. He says, how many comics do you own?
More than me.
I mean, I don't feel like I own a ton. Comparatively to like some other collectors. Really?
He owns a ton.
Really?
He owns a ton. How many boxes do you have?
They're like just my collection?
Comic.
Like if we're not talking about stuff that I'm like selling?
No, because you've still purchased those. So even ones that you're selling.
But like there's a difference though there too. So anyways, the ones that are in my collection, there are like there's 28. I have 28 short boxes. One of which is a like magazine Golden Age size box, and then another one is a slab box. And then if we're talking about like, well, and then okay, so 27 and then 28 because I have a Fried Pie box as well. And then if we're talking about like to add on to that, the boxes that are like stuff that I'm getting rid of. Why are you laughing at me?
I'm laughing at TJ.
Oh, okay. I have 3, 6, 9. I have like 10 like cell boxes with and then one slab cell box. So, and then each short box can roughly hold I like to stick around like 210, 225 per box.
What do you mean 210, 225?
No, I apologize. Is it? Yeah, it's 110, 125. I apologize. 110 or 125 books per
100.
box. 100.
Oh my gracious!
But they're
You
not
literally
all.
have you have thousands of comics.
I do have thousands, yes. Yes. There's thousands of books up here.
Otherwise known as a poop ton of comics.
But
Okay.
like my collection though, I feel like is tame compared to some people's.
Yeah.
And like not all my boxes are full either. So like I have them sectioned off. I have one shelf that's like stuff that I'm working on. I have the shelf below it that's stuff that's completed. Another shelf below that that's like completed stuff. And then I have a top shelf that's kind of like a covers box, a keys box, one's a Walking Dead box that I'm working on. Another one's like a Hellboy and Saga box, but I'm looking to get rid of Saga. So like the top is like a smorgasbord of things. So like I really have one shelf that I'm like working on.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
So I'm sorry I don't have an exact how many I have, but it
Thousands.
is in the thousands, I would say. He also asked, what years are those Lone Ranger comics do you have? The top Lone Ranger books. I don't know what the top Lone Ranger books are. Mine are from the 50s. No, the Green Hornets are, I think, from the 40s. The newer, the earliest Green Hornet, I think, is from the 40s. But the most of my Lone Ranger books, I believe, are from the early 50s. So, and they are... Sorry, this is kind of cheating a little bit, but... what are they? They're Dell. They're Dell 10-cent comics. So, TJ says, you own half of those. I mean, yeah. Really, it's all of them. I mean, what's hers is mine, what's mine's hers. So, yeah.
Touche. Okay, so let's get to your books. What kind of books are you wanting to look at? What do you have? What you got?
I guess it's where you want to start. I have like favorite artists of mine and like some of my favorite covers from them, or at least a favorite cover from them. I have favorite reads. I have stuff that I'm like generally like these are the kind of books that I've been picking up to fill runs with. I have a few of like my favorite like to go along with some of these other things like, hey, these are my favorite characters and stuff like that. So it's
pick the one that you're probably the most excited about.
My favorite read pile and my runs that I'm collecting, those are the biggest stacks.
Okay, do favorite read.
Favorite reads?
Yep.
Okay. So here's one right here.
Are these ones that you're reading now or that you have read?
These are ones that some of them are current run stuff.
Okay.
That I'm really enjoying.
Okay.
2 of those are current run stuff. Everything else is stuff that's completed that I have read.
Okay.
So this right here is this is actually like a I don't know. This is a reprint. This is X-Men: God Loves, Man Kills. This is by Chris Claremont, and I don't remember the artist. But like I said, this is a reprint. It's supposed to be like an extended edition. I'd never read this before until this year, and it's a 2-issue deal. It was, I think, originally part of like the Marvel Graphics or something like that. It's like a magazine style book, and this was fantastic. Freaking love this. And it features the first appearance of William Stryker in comic books, if I remember correctly, which we've seen him in like X-Men X2, where Wolverine was trying to figure out his past, and he went up to Canada, and William Stryker was the main villain of that, if you remember that movie. Mm-hmm. In this, he's not a general; he's a reverend, and he's like one of those very much hellfire and brimstone type reverends. But he's also like mutants are from the devil kind of deal. So you're getting that religious judgment in this book, which I don't like, because I feel like that paints a bad picture for people who are religious. But at the same time, like that is a thing that has existed, in the past. And I would assume in some areas it still does, but I don't feel like it's very prevalent anymore. But it was just a really good read. It was a solid read all the way around, and just bringing up just things about like how people should be treated and stuff like that. So it was really cool. It was just really done, really well done. Chris Claremont, I mean, it's good stuff.
So you said it's 2 issues.
Yes. Well, this extended was 2 issues. I think everything was done in that one magazine though.
I don't know. What does that mean?
So like this is a reprint of that magazine. That magazine was the original, and I think everything was in that one magazine. But this is an extended version.
Okay.
Right. So when they reprinted it, they made it comic book size, normal comic book size, and they wound up putting it in 2 books.
So do you have both books?
I do. Yes.
And you've read both of them?
Yes.
Cool.
That was good.
I like the colors. That's pretty.
Oh yeah. Classic old X-Men in there. But yeah, really good. Solid read.
Okay. Cool.
Solid.
Right. What
back in the 90s. I don't have any of the 90s Lone Ranger. I've kind of stayed away from that so far. So Digger Jim in the house. What's going on, Digger Jim? I got the original magazine. It was all in one. Nice. I need to get that, honestly. I wish they had a hardback version of that. I probably would get that to add that to my hardback collection.
How old is the original magazine?
Probably 80s, if I had to guess off the top of my head.
Okay.
Just based off of it being Claremont, based off their costumes, based off the things that they were talking about. It was maybe late 70s, but I'm thinking 80s. I'm thinking in the 80s.
Cool.
Wellbore in the house. What's going on, homie? Thanks for coming and hang out with us this evening. Appreciate you. I do want to let you know, since I have you on screen, I'm going to ship out. I've been wanting to ship out your books. However, as you know, Canada has a whole thing going on with y'all's postage where they're on strike. So, but I haven't forgot about you, is what I'm saying. I have not forgot about you, and I want to get those out to you. Digger Jim, 80s. I am old. Nice.
Okay, what's next?
This is probably one of my favorite writers right now in comic books, and this story was, I want a hardback of this. It's freaking fantastic. The covers are amazing. They're done by Alex Ross, and it's Jed McKay's Doctor Strange. And this was just, from start to end, this was fan-freaking-tastic. I loved it. Loved it. So, yeah.
Why did you like it?
Why?
Yeah.
The stories were just good. Not everything was overarching. You had some overarching things, but like it just, every story was good. Yeah. There's one in particular where like Strange is like dealing with Dormammu. And it's just a day in the life of Doctor Strange kind of deal. But he's like having a battle of minds with Dormammu, and it was fantastic. The relationship between Doctor Strange and Clea is fantastic in this. I loved it. I loved that a lot of times comic books try to tear couples apart. And in this one, Clea was always like always like at Strange's side, and I love that. I love that. You know, I think we get too much of like couples being torn apart and stuff like that. It's just too easy to write. But like writing a powerhouse couple, and that's what Jed McKay did. He wrote a powerhouse couple in this, and it was just I can't say enough about it. I really just loved it. I loved it. I don't know how to sell it. I really don't. But like it's a fantastic read, and it's not like it wasn't just about magic. Like it was just about like Strange and Clea living a life, and like magic was part of it, and all like dealing with like different things that happened, and you know them in the early stages of their marriage and questioning things like that as well. So it's just, I don't know. This was great.
I remember when you read that and you were telling me about it. Like, I remember how excited you were about that book just because of how, like, and I remember you saying powerhouse couple. I remember you talking about how strong they were in that book. But I feel like you like Doctor Strange anyway. I feel like he's a character that you typically like.
He's grown on me since, so like Tony Stark is really, like, not Tony Stark. Robert Downey Jr. is really what got me into Iron Man. Like before that, I was not an Iron Man fan. I didn't read Iron Man. He wasn't he wasn't compelling to me. I never read him in any stories. Just wasn't Iron. But I saw that movie and like I was like, this is fantastic. And so Robert Downey Jr. sold me on that character, and that now I'm like a huge Iron Man fan because of it. And Benedict Cumberbatch has done the same thing with Doctor Strange. I was so worried about that movie when it was coming out, and I was like, I don't know that I'm gonna like this. I don't know that like I'm about this movie at all. And then I went and saw it, and Benedict Cumberbatch is just—he's a fantastic actor, anyways. And he's totally like that script and his performance really sold me over on it. And I still hadn't. This is like probably the first Doctor Strange I've actually like read since seeing Doctor Strange, like the first movie. And I don't know what necessarily made me pick this up, other than like it was a #1, it was coming out, and I was curious. And then like this sucked me in like big time. It starts off with like a murder mystery type deal, and Strange is wondering whether or not Clea was part of it or actually did the murder. And so there's that, you know, between them and their relationship on top of like solving the murder, and it just goes from there to, you know, a future version of Strange coming in who's like a warhound and he's a badass. It's fantastic. It's just fantastic.
Fantastic.
Words can't describe how fantastic this is.
Well, okay. We believe you. So are there other characters or books that you weren't really into, but because of a movie now you are?
Because of the movie, because of Christopher Nolan's Batman, when that trilogy was coming out, I got tired of waiting on comic book movies to come out, and that actually got me back into comics. So that's not necessarily a character, but that is like a big reason why I'm in comics right now, is because I got tired of waiting. Like I love the movies so much that I got tired of waiting on that, and I was like, I had a few comics as a kid. Like, why don't I just go grab a Batman and go grab an Iron Man and see if I enjoy reading them and go from there.
Yeah.
And yeah, here I am now with 28 short boxes and 10 cell boxes. And
so how old were you when you got back into comics? Because you said when you were a kid. So like, how old were you when you got back into it?
It was.
I didn't think that'd be that hard of a question. I didn't mean to stump you.
No, I'm trying to do all the math in my head. So, like, I got back into comics, like, actually right before I met you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You
that
were
was
just
what?
a young tot.
So that was like 13, 14 years ago.
Yeah.
So we're talking.
27,
I'm
26.
about to say I can't even do simple math in my brain right now. 2010.
Yeah.
So yeah, around that time.
Okay. Hey, Digger Jim, guess what? For our wedding present, I bought him a comic book.
Yeah,
How about
she
that?
did. She did.
That was his wedding gift.
Jim's a huge Iron Man fan too. He's part of the Iron Legion.
Bless him.
So bless it. Oh, Taco Mike in the house. What's going on, man? Appreciate you coming and hang out this evening. Well, I think it was you. I'm pretty positive it was you. It was it was like in June, I think, is when you won these books. And I was so far behind on like shipping them out. So
If it's not
yeah,
you, congratulations, you won now.
I need to double check, but I'm pretty positive it was you. I'm pretty positive it was you.
That's funny. Okay. What's another? Give us another one. I'm waiting for a certain
Character title.
characters, yeah, for you to have it, because that's for some reason the one thing that I'm like, oh, he's gonna have one of those books. So I'm just waiting to see if one that I really, really think you're gonna have, if you actually do.
It's not going to be this one. This is Gideon Falls #1. This is by Jeff Lemire. I just finished this up, and it's like a horror. I don't even know a good way of describing it. It's a horror book.
Horror?
And, yes, not horror. Okay. Horror.
Just making sure what you're reading.
Horror. But it's a horror book, and this was. I was waiting on this book to let me down. Honestly, I was waiting on this book to let me down, and it did not. It's about I'm trying to think of how to put this without spoiling it. It's about a town called Gideon Falls. There's rumors of a black barn, and it's apparently abducted a child. And this barn hasn't been seen in a long time, and then all of a sudden it comes back and it appears. And the child and a reverend actually swap places, and it takes you like through time. The barn will take you through time almost, or maybe even multi versal, but you're always in Gideon Falls. Mm-hmm. But the smiling man is the antagonist of this book. And it's just this like silhouetted black figure with this giant, horrendous grin and red eyes. And this was really good, really, really good. Really enjoyed it. So
interesting. Okay. Digger Jim's been wanting to read it.
Digger Jim, to you I say, check out the app Hoopla. They have deluxe versions of it that you can rent. You do need a library card, but you should get. I get 5 free rentals a month, and that's how I read the other half that I didn't necessarily have in my collection. So yeah, that's what I suggest if you're looking to read it.
There you go.
Ian, Becca, comics, what's going on? Hope you both are having a good day. Hope you are having a good day as well. Thank you for coming and hanging out. At one point, it was optioned to make a movie or a show. A show would be fantastic. I think it needs a show. I think you could condense it enough to make it a movie, but I think it really needs a show, though, to get like in the weeds with it and like have fun. Family Tree by Jeff Lemire is a real good horror comic. I may have to put that on my list because I think I really like Jeff Lemire. Ian and Becca say he's the best, so I think they may be right because I have another book by Jeff Lemire I think in this pile. Oh. So apparently I like Jeff Lemire. This is a recent one. Swamp Thing, Green Hell. This is like magazine format. I like Swamp Thing, and this was like really good, like 3-issue Swamp Thing read. This format, like as aggravating as it is, because you need a magazine size box to store it. I like the size of the pages. I like being able to see all the artwork, like as big as it is. Like it's cool. It's fun. This seems to be like an alternate universe Swamp Thing story. John Constantine is like in this small little town, and it looks like the green, the red, and the rot are all dying, and so they wind up teaming up, the rot and the green do, to get a new host. And then that host goes like berserker. John Constantine calls upon Swamp Thing to come and help out, and then it kind of goes from there. So, but 3-issue story, it was really good, really solid, good story.
Kind of sounds like something from Stranger Things.
Yes, it does. I can see it having Stranger Things vibes. Yes,
I feel like you like Swamp Thing in general.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've always liked Swamp Thing. Why do you like it so much?
I don't know if it's the horror aspect of it. I don't know if it's like this horrendous looking guy who's like actually the hero of the story. I don't know if it's the misunderstood humanity of it, where it's like he's this big green monster, but like he remembers being human at one point in time, and then they retcon some stuff later on where it's like he's not actually the human, but then they kind of go back. It's a whole mess up thing. But it's, I don't know. I think I like the horror aspect of it. And I like this kind of like misunderstood hero, or like, you know. And I also like I like characters' attitude, and Swamp Thing has very much of an attitude. Like he will straight up tell Batman off. Like, and I love that. Like, as much as I like Batman, like Swamp Thing does not care about Bruce, does not care about Batman. It's what, like, he'll do what he wants to do when he wants to do it, and it's like, do something, Batman, please do, like that. And I like that. I like that like attitude he's got. It's great.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of Batman, who's your favorite Batman?
Like, as far as
like actor,
like the movies.
Yeah.
Oh, Ben Affleck right now.
Yeah, he was a good
absolute favorite Batman.
He was a really good Batman. I thought he was going to be horrible, but he was a really good Batman. And he was a good Batman and a good Bruce. Like, because right. I hate it. Like, Christian Bale sucks as Batman. I hate him so much as Batman, but I really like him as Bruce. But he sucks at Batman. And then, like, what's his face? Twilight was a really good, like, creepy, dark Batman, and that was really cool. But, like, I don't know. I'm with you. I really like Ben Affleck as Batman. It used to be Val Kilmer. Ben Affleck took over.
So I was very much, okay, first off, I'm getting ahead of myself. As far as Shiny Boy, Robert Pattinson, I don't think it's fair yet to compare his Bruce Wayne to anybody else, because the whole purpose of that Batman story was to sit there and point out that he had to be not only Batman but Bruce Wayne as well. So like his Bruce Wayne was supposed to be a recluse, was supposed to, like, that's how it was wrote.
Yeah.
And that was part of his arc, was as a character, was to be like, for me to be the best I can be, I have to still be better. Mm-hmm. So, and I don't think you were comparing the two at that point in time. I'm just saying, like, you know, I don't think we've seen the full potential of Shiny Boy yet, of Pattinson.
Yeah.
So, and then, so, you know, we did Batmania for the podcast, the Comically Comics podcast, and that was one of the things, was like, everybody's like, Keaton is the best Batman. And so I was going into Batman Forever with Val Kilmer, and I was like dreading it. And then I watched it, and with my older eyes, and I was like, you know what? Val Kilmer actually was probably a better Bruce Wayne and Batman, really, than Michael Keaton. Like, Val Kilmer does not get the credit he deserves. Like,
he was a good Batman, and like he was good both.
right. No, yeah, I agree. I completely agree now. And that kind of leads me to Ben Affleck, where like a lot of people will crap on the standard version of his Daredevil movie, and it's like it wasn't Ben Affleck's acting that made that movie bad. It was the writing that made that movie bad. The same as for Val Kilmer in Batman Forever. It wasn't Val's acting that made that role bad.
Yeah,
It was the writing that made that role bad. So, like, realizing that and the difference is like,
yeah,
that's a big deal. So,
yeah. There's a lot of chatty stuff we need to go back to.
yes, let's go chat with the chat. So we've got Ian and Becca are saying, currently reading Fish Flies by Jeff Lemire. I highly recommend. Okay. I think TM Nerdy was into that as well. I think he's a big Jeff Lemire guy. Wellbore says he likes Fish Flies as well. That's interesting. It's a crazy looking title. Digger Jim, Swamp Thing knows his higher purpose is to the green. Yes. But at the same time, he's got no problem turning on the green either. Like in this book here, it's almost like he knows his purpose is for the green, but at the same time, like he's drug away from his wife and Effie, I believe is his daughter in this book, and like he's like Parliament trees can go stick it. Like he is not. He don't care about the green. He cares about getting back to like home. Like that's what he's all about in this one. So again, fantastic. So, and that's what I like about like for Swamp Thing. He does not care about your this, your that, your power, your whatever. Like your reputation, it does not matter to him, and I love that. I freaking love that.
I almost feel like you love it because you're like that, though. I mean, really, like you're very much like your word is your word, and you like, I don't know, you're very much like I don't really care what you've done, like Anyway, a little sidebar.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like people thinking they're better than me just because of like position or
just like their status.
Yeah, that's the kind of like I don't like that at all. It pisses me off, and so I mean, yeah, I am kind of like that doesn't matter to me. Like, Ian and Becca, what's his face? Twilight.
Yes. But you knew who I was talking about, Shiny Boy.
Shiny Boy. Kenneth Bird in the house. What's going on, homie? Appreciate you. So facts. Yes. He was Batman year 2. Absolutely. Yep. Still learning its role. Yep. Affleck was a seasoned Batman. I agree. Totally. Yes, absolutely. He was old man Batman. Yeah. No padded suits, 100% pure West. That's fantastic. Adam West with that dad bod going on. That's what I'm talking about. Cody with Where'd You Get That? What's going on, man? Appreciate you coming and hanging out with us this evening. Richard in the house as well. What's going on, man? Appreciate you coming and hanging out. All right. You want some more reads?
What you got?
What you got? This right here. I have, like, left.
Yeah.
I have 2 over here on the side and 1 in my hand.
Okay. Keep going.
This is Thor, God and Thunder. This is a hardback right here. I've started buying hardbacks of the stories that I absolutely really just loved. If there's a hardback version of it that's, like, complete, I want it. I want it on a shelf. I want a version of it. I don't have to have the floppies. Unless there's like a key or something like that I want in it. Like I right now in my season, I'm going for the hardbacks of the reads that I really, really like. Because I want to be able to just go over there, grab the whole thing off the shelf, and just be able to start reading.
So
And
I'm sorry to interrupt you. So is the hardback like multiple issues?
yes, so
Okay.
this actually has issues 1 through 11 of Thor: The God of Thunder in there. This is written by Jason Aaron, who is from Alabama, and this has got artwork from Esad Ribic in here, one of my top 5 favorite artists of all time. Story is magnificent. Artwork is magnificent. This is everything that I want in a book, and I don't even really like Thor. But this was fantastic.
That was a bad movie.
Which one? So, Thor: Love and Thunder, the movie that we saw that you're talking about with Christian Bale as Gore.
Mm-hmm.
This is that book. This is that story.
I know. I'm saying that was a bad movie.
Right, because it wasn't this. Ugh! That should have been a horror movie. That should have been a straight up horror movie because Gore the God Butcher is like bad.
Yeah.
Bad. But then you see his reasoning why and like him being manipulated kind of. And this is Jason Aaron goodness right here. This is fantastic.
Jason Aaron goodness.
Love it. Let's see.
Becca just bought that today.
Yes. Ian just bought it. But yes. Ian and Becca. Fantastic. I think that's the deluxe version right there. There's I think a volume 2 of the deluxe that covers the rest, if I'm not mistaken. I've not read past the God Bomb story that's in that volume 1, and I honestly just don't have a desire to. So now if somebody comes to me and they're like, "Oh, it's fantastic, you should definitely keep reading it," or whatever the case is, then I may. But we read that for the podcast, did a review. I loved it, and since then I wanted it. And it's just, that's an expensive book. It's stupid expensive. So I got a really good deal on it on eBay, and I pulled the trigger as soon as I got the thing in. So you'll enjoy it. If you haven't read it, I think you'll thoroughly enjoy it. It's great. Artwork, story, fantastic. Like, take time reading it, let it soak in. It's fantastic. Aaron did one of the best Thor. Yeah, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody ever says anything about Thor, that's it. God killer. Yes. And that's what we missed. We didn't see a God killer on that.
So has he written more things that you like?
What else have I read by Jason? Okay, so I started reading Southern Bastards, and I finished that. And I was really excited to read Southern Bastards. However, it's not a completed work. It's like you can buy it in floppies right now. There's there's trades of it, and there's like a one hardback of it as well. And the first volume was freaking fantastic. Loved it. Was so ready to keep going. They killed off a character and then switched to another person as their main character. And I was like, what are we doing? Because I absolutely loved the character they killed off. And it makes sense when you finish it, like, kind of what they were doing, where they were going, and what Jason Aaron was the message he was trying to convey in that book as well. It's about a town in Alabama. I'm pretty positive it's made up. However, they talk about, it's about high school football in Alabama. But then they talk about surrounding places. Like they bring up Wetumpka in there a good bit. They bring up Bessemer. They bring up somewhere else as well. And I'm like, I've been to these places. Like I know. And then the town that's made up in Southern Bastards, I've been to places like that as well, and it makes me feel like bad for Jason Aaron because I'm like, he grew up with that, like that's like, and real like knowing the areas that I grew up in compared to like if he grew up in that, I'm like, damn, no wonder you're not, like no wonder the message of the story is written the way that's written.
Mm-hmm.
And it's written in a way of like hating someplace so much, but you can't stay away from it. So, and it's, yeah. So it's just, it's a heartbreaking story. And like I said, the first volume, freaking loved it, was ready to keep going. Then they switched it on me, and I don't love it so much. So now it's in my sell pile. And on top of that, it's not finished. And it's not going to be finished from what I understand either. So that's another reason why I'm like, I've read it. I know it. Yeah. It's, it's not something I'd necessarily recommend. First volume is fantastic, though. I loved it.
Yeah.
So, Mad Spidey in the house. What's up, 22 couple legends? Appreciate you. That's what we need. We need a t-shirt that says couple legends. Legend couple. That's fantastic.
That's funny.
Let's see. What do you got?
What do you got? I got nothing. I'm not prepared with my pretty books.
Jason Aaron. We're talking about Jason Aaron. He's taking over the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Fantastic.
That's what I was waiting for.
Fantastic.
The Turtles.
Yep. If you have ever been interested in the Turtles, they're on issue like 4 or 5 right now. This is great. Hop on number 1 and just follow along. Fantastic. It starts off with Raphael, and the Turtles are all split up. So the first 4 issues are the Turtles, where they're at and how they're kind of like getting back together. And there's a riff between the family, but you don't know what the riff is yet. Love it. You don't have to have read the volume preceding this at all so far, and I don't think you'll have to. It seems pretty simple, down to earth, and I'm a Turtle fan, and he's doing a great job. Jason Aaron on Turtles is fantastic. Love it.
Okay. New Turtles versus old Turtles.
I haven't read a whole lot of the actual like old Turtles. I've collected a lot of it.
Yeah.
But I haven't read a lot of the old Turtles. The old Turtles are a lot different than like this, honestly. Even though, like, from what I have heard of the old Turtles, I could see the old Turtles being like this.
Why?
Because of the brutality of it, the attitudes the Turtles have. Like, they're still, Leo, Raph, Mikey, and Donnie. But, like, this ain't your kids, this is not something I'd hand our son.
Yeah.
Like,
who is a Turtle fan?
There's language in this. There's violence in this. Like, they're not toting guns like they did in the original volume. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes in the original volume, the Turtles would have guns. They'd pick them up and they'd fire. Mm-hmm. So, but this has got the brutality of what I feel like the originals had. So,
what do you think about like artwork of new Turtles versus old Turtles? And I don't know if it's like the same thing in comic books. I know, like, seeing like TV shows, it's completely different. So the comic books may not be as different.
So in the original TMNT, it was all black and white. Mm-hmm. And like I was telling our son the other day, like the Turtles didn't have the multicolor headbands until like the cartoon came out. Like, they all had red headbands. So, I lean more towards the artwork nowadays. It's prettier to me. However, I'm not a fan of. I hate to say this. I hate to say this so bad, because he's the nicest freaking guy I think I've ever met. That's a celebrity, freaking ever. He was so freaking cool. But Kevin Eastman, I'm not a fan of his artwork. I'm just not. I'm not, and I think Peter Laird did more of the artwork on those runs, but you can still see like Eastman's hand in it, and I'm not a fan of his style of artwork as much.
Yeah.
So, but man, if you ever get a chance to meet Eastman, he's the coolest freaking guy ever, and he just loves being where he's at. At least that day that I met him, he was. Yeah. So,
pull out the thing behind you. your turtles? Because I think that's pretty cool.
Ow. So this is the cast of the TMNT cartoon. Like, this is, I can't even remember all their names, but this is Renee Jacob. This was the first autograph that I got on here. This is Rob Paul. He did Raphael, and a lot of the turtles, as you can see, did other characters as well. I can't remember this guy's name. But he did Splinter and Shredder there towards the end. However, his vocals, his vocal tracks weren't supposed to be released on those episodes, but they kept them anyways. Kevin Eastman was the third autograph that I got on this. The guy that played Donnie, he was a really cool guy. He also did the voice of Bebop. And then Leo, he also did the voice of Rocksteady. This guy, the Mikey, his demeanor matched Mikey. He was very much an entertainer. He did a lot of voices. He did the Spot, the 7-Up Spot, and the Spot video game back in the day, along with a bunch of other voices as well. But yeah, he kind of was like a ham or whatever. Renee Jacobs, she was a really cool lady. Like I said, Donnie, he was a really nice guy. Eastman, though, he was, man, that was freaking great. Fantastic.
And who's your favorite turtle?
Growing up, it was Michelangelo, and then, of course, I like Leonardo. As I've gotten older, it's now Raphael. So,
Why?
I've just kind of gone down the gauntlet. Raphael, like he's very much a loner. Like, whether it gets him in trouble or not, he's very much a loner. And so I feel like I relate to that. So it's easier for me to read. It's easier for me to understand things like that.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. You got to get back to the chat again.
Mad Spotty, did you run out of guests? I did not run out of guests. My honey was, when I first was coming up with this and she'd watched a couple of episodes, she came to me and she's like, I want to interview you. And I was like, okay. And the more that I thought about it, I was like, as we get closer to the Christmas season and stuff like that, it may get harder for me to get a guest. And so I was like, that would probably be the perfect time. Like, you're wanting to do it, we'll do it then. And that way, I don't have to try and work around somebody's holiday schedule or whatever the case is. It'd be easier then. So, Lady Fantastic in the house. What is going on? She says, oh, snap. Who run the world? Girls. Pretty funny. TMNT back in the 80s was violence. Yes, I agree. Everybody saying hello to Lady Fantastic. I've come to appreciate Eastman's art. Definitely acquired taste. Yes, I absolutely agree. Cody says, awesome, so awesome. He's a big-time autograph collector. He's got some fantastic autographs. I think I've seen a Adam West in his background autograph, and I'm pretty positive that maybe even a Burt Ward. So
that's great.
If I wanted anybody from 66 Batman that was still alive, it would be Julie Newmar. That would be I would want her autograph.
I thought she passed away.
I don't think Julie Newmar did.
I'll have to Google that. Okay.
So now the girl that played, I can't for the life of me now remember her name, and I feel bad because I knew it off the top of my head for however long. But the girl that played Batgirl, she did pass away.
Okay.
Wow, that's radical tubular excellence. Yes. When I watched that Ridley Scott Ninja Turtles, I cried when the bad guys were beat up Master Splinter. Then my friends caught me crying, asked me if I was crying, and I 100%. That's fantastic.
That's funny.
Donatello is my boy. I like Donnie. Don't get me wrong. Because the nerd in me loves Donnie. The nerd in me absolutely. Do what?
Our daughter likes Donnie for some reason.
I think she likes Donnie just because he's got a purple mask. I think that's the only reason why.
Probably.
Signature King in the house. What's going on? Says howdy do, fellow nerds. Appreciate you coming hanging out this evening. Lost Cruces says I met Kevin Eastman in 1985 San Diego Comic Con. The second day he approached me and remembered I was from New Mexico and continued our previous conversation. Wow, that's freaking awesome.
That's
so. My Eastman story is I had a quite like this little print right here of the animated. I have a VHS poster from the first movie that would be hung up in like a Blockbusters or something like that. And so I'm going to meet Eastman. I'm going to get him to sign this. I actually got him to sign that first, and then I pull out this poster. And his like handler, for lack of better words, starts seeing this poster as it's unrolling, and dude starts freaking out. The handler does. He's like, "Yo, like this is the original. Oh my gosh!" And then Eastman sees like I had Brian Tochi already do an autograph on it. I had Judith Hogue do an autograph on it. I had it was a guy that he did Raph. He was like the suit guy for Raph. And after the original guy broke his shoulder or broke his collarbone in the trash can scene, and he was also the nunchucker for the Mikey duel. Anyways, I had him. He autographed it as what he's autographed it, and then Kevin Eastman, he's looking at it, and he goes, like he's just looking at it. He's just taking it in, and he looks up at me. He goes, "Can I remark this?" I said, "Who the hell am I to tell you no?" And I was like, "I didn't pay for it." He goes, "Oh, I didn't hear that. No, it's okay." And he like he goes ahead and draws this big turtle head right in the center of the logo at the top. He signs it, all this other jazz. That's fantastic, fantastic. One of the best times ever at a con. So he was awesome.
I remember that day.
Donatello, I owe you some stickers and stuff. Who is that? Who do you owe stickers and stuff to? Tony Los Cruces, where'd you get that? Let's going through the chat, see, making sure everybody's here. Are we talking? We did talk some signatures a little bit. Well, I'm on holidays for another 2 weeks. Keep that in mind. Ooh, I will, Spidey. We may need to make this happen then. Julie Newmar is 91, still alive. I think she lives in Texas, because I think she goes to the Dallas Con a lot, if I remember right. So,
I think I'm thinking of oh my gosh, what's the other lady that passed away?
Eartha. Did Eartha Kitt pass away?
Eartha Kitt.
Oh yeah. Because she was Catwoman as well.
That's what I'm thinking of. Okay, you have one more.
One more read, and it's Green Lantern #1 by Jeremy Adams. Jeremy Adams. This Green Lantern is awesome. I love it, and he's wrote the Green Lantern animated cartoon that came out. That's one of my favorite cartoons. Jeremy Adams wrote some episodes of that, and then putting him on this, I'm like, this is pretty freaking awesome. And I love his IG page. I follow him on IG, and he's such a down to earth guy. I want him on this show like so bad because he's a collector as well. And like he shows off his hauls on IG as they come in. So like I want him on this show so bad. Just to talk about his collection. I don't even want to talk, like we don't even have to talk about his writing and all the accomplishments he's made. I just want to talk to him about his collection. But he's fantastic. He's fantastic. I love his Hal Jordan. And this has been fantastic. So I've heard good things about his Flash. Do what now?
I do not like that cover.
What is wrong with this?
He looks like a big old pack of meat.
Oh, I love this cover. What is this? This is a variant. Pardon me. Yeah, this is like the C cover. I love it. I love the colors.
Okay.
All right, judge me and my comic book covers. Yeah, those are my reads. So like TMNT and Green Lantern are like my weekly, or my monthly reads. That like I just think Jason Aaron, Jeremy Adams are killing it. So,
so you say monthly reads. We don't have not really, a local comic book store. So where do you get comics from usually?
mycomicshop.com. I have a pull box with them, and I get like it's like 35% off everything that I pre-order, and I have my subscription that I do, and it looks like I don't have to pay taxes on something that's a subscription, which is crazy to me. But if I go into like the pre-order section, if I pre-order something and pay for that separately, then I do have to pay taxes. So I've had to find a workaround to like not pay taxes on that. But yeah, I love my comic shop. Like I think I've had like of course I've been buying from them since before 2020. But like when Kingdom Comics closed, my local store that I used to go to, since it's closed, like that's all that I've been like that's all I could buy from. So, or at least that's all that I knew I could buy from.
Yeah.
And so like I've been buying from them, for longer than 4 years, but steadily for 5 years. And anytime there's ever been a mistake with post office, because it's going to happen. Like it's the post office. There's something that's going to happen. They have handled it. They have taken care of it every single time. Whether that be giving me a credit, whether that be sending me new books, whatever the case is, they have handled it and taken care of it every single time. Customer service is top notch with them. Fantastic. And then, like I said, I get the discount on top of that. I think I'm getting Walking Dead books for like less than $2 or something, like or less. It's like $1.250 maybe. I don't know what it is. It's cheap though. It's hard for me to sit there and not pick up the Walking Dead Deluxe because of how cheap it is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. Lady Fantastic is my height. Okay.
That's funny.
So what I'm curious to see your covers, because I feel like people don't really, I feel like, know this about you because you don't do it that much, but like you're a really good artist. Like you're very good at drawing and doing things. So
oh, well, thank you.
I think you're very good at it. But I feel like covers are some of those things that like will kind of captivate you and draw you in sometimes, and you're like, oh, by the artwork.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what kind of covers you have.
Covers I've got. Okay. Let's move this stuff around. All right.
You had to pick. You had to say like you have bought more things based on a cover by or a read. What would you say?
Oh, definitely cover by. I didn't start really like it. I grew up hating to read. Absolutely, positively hated it. Comic books have got me to like reading and enjoy reading. However, it does take it seems like it takes a good bit though for me to find something that I really thoroughly enjoy. Like all this stuff right here that were like my freaking fantastic top reads. I love them. All this other jazz. Like Green Hill, I think that was earlier this year. Jeremy Adams' Green Lantern, that's like within the last 2 years. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that started this year. Thor, God of Thunder, that's probably early 2000s or so. Gideon Falls, early, mid 2000s, something like that. Or 2010s, whatever. Doctor Strange, that was last year, something like that. This God Loves Man Kills is the oldest thing that's in this pile. Like, it just, I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm just picky. I don't know what the deal is, but yeah, no, it'd definitely be covers. Like covers speak to me like way more than stories do.
So will you buy a book that has a good cover and a horrible story just because of the cover?
I may not even know what story's in there. But depending on the artist, I bought covers straight up just because they're Gabriel Dell'Otto covers.
Yeah.
And I saw the preview on them. I'm like, those look fantastic. Like I have several books that I've never even read, but because they've got Gabriel Dell'Otto artwork on them, I'm like, I just want that cover. I don't care about what's inside. I just want that cover. That's it.
Yeah.
So
Cool. I
This was a dollar pickup here recently. Y'all know how I love my dollar bins. But this is a key. It's the first time that the aliens and the predators fight each other. But this is also like a different cover. And I freaking love that box right there. Like the
That looks
artwork for that.
that looks
It's
like
fantastic.
a Chucky doll mutant.
It's a predator.
Looks like a Chucky doll predator to me.
Oh man, I love this cover so much. I love it. It's to me, I like it better than the cover that a lot of people see.
Ugh.
Ugh,
Ugh.
poor cover. This is the cover that I've seen most of the time. And it's a nice cover, don't get me wrong, but man, the colors on this, the detail on that, I love it. I freaking love it. So, I don't know who this artist is, so I apologize. I should give credit where credit is due, but I don't know. I don't know, and I apologize.
I don't know, something about like Predator. What's the other one? Carnage. And I feel like there's something else. Venom.
Oh, the Venom symbiotes.
Oof. Mm-mm.
Let's see. Lady Fantastic says, I collect both storylines I enjoy and books with cover art by artists I love. Yes. Collect what you want. There's no wrong way. Absolutely. 100%. Spidey's got it. True statement. It does kind of look like an LP Predator. Here's one. This is like a 1:50 ratio cover right here. One of my favorite artists, though. This is Thanos Legacy #1. I think I saw this first on DJ Lynx's channel. So shout out to him because he's a big Thanos guy. But it's Esad Ribic, and I love his work. I love his work with the medium, and yeah, it's fantastic.
That's pretty cool.
Like I said, he did that God, Thor God of Thunder run, and like that's what the interiors looked like when he was on it, and that's just, man, I could eat it up. It's fantastic.
So do
Love
you
it.
like the book, or was that strictly a cover?
That was strictly a cover. I never read it. It's a #1. I probably could read it and it'd be fine, but like, I just it was a ratio. It was $1, and it was Esad Ribic. So it checked off like multiple boxes for me of like, yeah, I can spend $1 on that.
Yeah,
Why not?
that's funny.
I should have taken these out of plastic.
Yes,
I apologize for the noise. We'll just put it over there. This one right here, I saw this cover. I had to have it. And when I bought it, I knew I had to have this signed by the cover artist because I needed the label to match the cover because I knew that would be a full package and everything that I wanted with this. This is Green Lantern 2021 annual #1. This is by David Nakayama, and it's signed by him as well.
Oh, I do like that one.
Man,
That one's pretty.
I love this book. Character is like, to me, I feel like she's the opposite of Hal Jordan, where like Hal's a very confident Green Lantern, whereas Jessica Cruz, this character right here, she is not. And so that's appealing to me because I really like Hal Jordan, but I also like the opposite effect. So, very popular character, but like I had to have this with the yellow label as well, because I just felt like it just went, it just set it all off. So, and then having his signature was like amazing. David Nakayama's a freaking amazing guy as well. I've never talked to him or anything like that. But like, I've he'll trade messages and stuff. Like he'll trade comments and stuff with you on IG, and he'll sit there and like tell you thank you for giving his work praise and stuff. And when you tag him in it, and I'm like, that's freaking cool for
That's
you to sit there and like you get the notification that somebody's tagged you in it, because God knows how many people tagged this man and stuff probably, and him come back and be like, yo, thank you so much. Like, what?
Yeah.
What? So like, man, this guy is freaking awesome. Caroline says that Nakayama is super interactive. Yeah, he absolutely. I love that about him too. Yeah, he's fantastic. What is it?
Are you sure that's not my book?
No, this is mine.
Okay.
I
You
mean,
said
we can share
100%.
it.
So
Do what?
you said 100%. What's mine is yours. So okay.
No, we can absolutely share it, because what's yours is mine, what's mine is yours. But this is my book.
Well, Miss
Right,
Frost is my book.
Yes, that's an amazing cover though.
Oh, it's so pretty.
That is an amazing cover. I have an original from Esad. He's super cool and is a mad scientist when he works. He owes me a pack. I love watching his IG page as well as Simone Bianchi's IG. Watching them work and do their thing, it's freaking. I love it. I love watching them work. It's fantastic. And I know I keep saying fantastic, but like that's what all this episode is about tonight, is all the things that are like fantastic to 22. So, fairly sure you have seen it here. Oh, talking about the one she's jelly of. I love Bianchi too. He's a little heavier in the hand than Ribic. Yes, absolutely, and is multimedia. But I love the way he interprets characters. Yes. David Mack is pretty awesome. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Stephanie Hans, man, there's so many good books from Stephanie Hans. Covers. I have several of them. She did a lot for Fried Pie. A lot. I love them. I've not heard of Julie Bell. I'll have to check her out. Should have taken the opportunity to get Bianchi when I had the chance. Yes. Cool.
You have more covers, don't you?
Oh, yes.
So there's
speaking
some
of
really
Bianchi,
cool covers that you have.
I don't know that I don't know. A lot of them are the same artists, so I just kind of pulled out what I thought was my favorites or whatever. Speaking of Fried Pie, speaking of Bianchi, here is Simone Bianchi on a Fried Pie edition of Black Panther: World of Wakanda #1. And I hate the glare that I have on this, but it does not do this thing any justice. This is an amazing piece right here. I love it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. This is a favorite of mine. Absolutely, positively love this one. That was a $high book there for a bit too. I think there's like, the last time I looked, I think there's like 15 or 17 on the census, and I don't know if they're all 9/8 or not, and I have like 2 of them. So
Why do you have 2 of them?
they were books that I'd gotten, and they were running like the fair market value at first for them was like $300. And I have several copies of that book, so I was like, I can press these and probably get like a 9/8 out of them. And so I sent one in, got it. I secured my 9/8, and then I was like, I'll send in another one, and then I'll sell that one. And so then I did that, and it came back, and it still hasn't sold. So, but that's fine. That's fine. Favorite artist of all time for me right now, anyways, is Gabriel Dell'Otto. And this, when I saw this cover, I had to have it. I had to freaking have it. Moon Knight, #1. I love it.
That's a good
Love
one.
it, love it, love it. Gabriel Delato is supposed to be having a signing at CGC. I have another copy of this #1. I may send that in to see if I can get it signed. So, but this one has the label too, so I'm like, ugh, like I don't know what to do. So yeah. But like, I also don't want to send it to CGC and then crack it out of the case and everything, and then mess up the book because I've had that happen to me before, and then I don't have a 9.8 of this book anymore. So I think I'm just gonna send in my other one.
Yeah, that's a really pretty
cover.
I
love it. Oh my gosh, I love it. His work, I love his work. Absolutely, positively love his work. So
it's fantastic.
It's fantastic. Let's see. Lady Fantastic. Yes! That is most excellent. Yes. I agree. That is all the... That was just showcasing my favorite covers, and artists in my collection.
Just your collection. So what, like, besides, and you may not have grabbed anything and that's fine, but besides comics, what else do you collect?
Ghostbuster action figures. Really love the Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters has actually grown on me more as I've become an adult. But I loved them as a kid. And then as I've gotten older and started rewatching the movies and stuff, like I find humor in it that I didn't before. I got a few statues that I love. Those are fun to collect. Batman Hot Wheels, these special ones or whatever. As I got a Ecto 1 behind me as well. But yeah, I only collect those Batmobiles. I got some of the other ones that's like normal Hot Wheels. Movie posters. I like movie posters for some reason, like a lot. There's other stuff. I don't. The first edition books. Like this is Jurassic Park: The Lost World. It's a first edition, if I remember right, of Jurassic Park: The Lost World. So I like that kind of stuff for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what else. I'm kind of scared to say what else.
So do you have other books, or is that all the books you took out?
No, I have other ones.
Well, what do you have? What you got?
What you got? Let's see.
Hey, Esvon.
Is Scott in here? Scott, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming hanging out this evening. So, Daredevil. Daredevil is one of my top 5 characters. Love Daredevil. And I have this entire run right here. I mean, even into the point where this is Daredevil Volume 2 right here. So, here's Daredevil #1 of that volume to represent that whole entire volume. I have pretty positive the entire volume of Daredevil Volume 2. Kevin Smith wrote the first few issues of this. But then Brian Michael Bendis wound up taking over at one point in time. Ed Brubaker took over one point in time. Fantastic writers. This has got Joe Quesada artwork on here as well. Fantastic artists. I love Daredevil. I really, really do. I really like Daredevil a whole lot. And so super excited and happy to have that volume of Daredevil. I have not read it, but it's definitely one of those ones that I want to read and like take in. So really, really like Daredevil.
So Kevin Smith, like the comic book show Kevin Smith.
Yeah. It's like Jay and Silent Bob, Kevin Smith, and Comic Book Men from AMC that we used to watch. Kevin Smith. Yes. Yeah, that's
That was a fun show. What happened to that show?
I don't think anybody watched it and they canceled it.
That was a good show.
I think we were the only audience, hon.
Well, that's sad. It was like a real life Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
was good. I liked that show because they taught you a lot of stuff. Like they taught you so much, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds cool. You're like, they just taught you so much, and they would get so excited about it, and then they would always joke on oh shoot, what's his name? What's the little guy's name?
Ming
Thank
Chen,
you.
yeah.
They would always joke on him, and that was funny. I like that show. I miss that show. That was a good show.
That's a good one. Ming does a lot of I think he does a podcast and with Mike, if I'm not mistaken. And he goes to cons a good bit. So
I always thought you and the grouchy one would get along.
Mike or
No, the bearded
Brian.
one.
Brian.
Was it Brian? Was that his name?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
He was funny.
Yeah.
He was funny.
Brian, yeah. Let's see. Okay, that was Daredevil. Here is a cover that I saw this. I fell in love with it. It's a character that I really love as well. A lot of people really love this character though. Batman Annual number 8. But look at this cover though. Like it is just the colors. I don't know. It took me by surprise, and I was like, I need to own this.
That's cool.
So, yep. I would like to get more Batman, but that volume, like volume 1, is just so massive and so big. Like just trying to store all that would be ridiculous. So, yeah, not doing that.
Well, what? How many? Because you were trying to get all of the Iron Men. So how many is in Iron Man?
So volume 1 is technically a little over 332 pages. Like the official volume 1 is 332 pages. They went back during Armor Wars 2, I believe, and they added a few books, like 5 or 6, I think, to that story. And so like that was kind of like some retconned issues there. But the first volume is technically 332 issues. So yeah, that's the first volume of Iron Man.
And how many of those do you have?
I have 310.
So you're missing how many?
Do what?
So you're missing how many?
22.
And wasn't that your goal for the end of the year though? Like
Yes, that was
to have
my
22
goal, to have 22 left. Yeah.
So when are you going to get the next 22?
I don't know. I'll set another goal for however many next year and get those if I can. So
yeah,
I've got a lot of the major ones out of the way. You know, one of them is actually in my pile over here to show off. And then one of the big ones I got this year was number 55, the first Thanos, and somewhat the first Star Fox, the first Blood Brothers, the first Drax. So it was a big book, but I did wind up getting that.
I remember that. Mm-hmm. You were rather excited about that purchase. Mm-hmm. 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 All right. What else you got?
Another favorite character of mine, and since we're talking about him, you know, this is like it's not even that I'm wanting just all of Volume 1. I want every issue of Iron Man.
Yeah.
Like every issue of Iron Man. And I have pretty much every volume completed except for Volume 1. But yeah, this one, just to represent, you know, Volume 1 and my Iron Man, I got the Iron Man number 1 that you gave me as a nice gift. Let's get this out of the Mylar.
You're welcome.
No, thank you.
I contribute.
Fantastic gift. So yeah, Iron Man number 1, awesome book. But yeah, trying to get all Volume 1 done. And yeah, that's a big one. It's out of the way.
What was the I can't believe I don't remember this. What was the Tales of Suspense I got you?
Okay. So for the audience that's watching the chat, things like that. We're getting married, and we were gonna buy each other a wedding gift. and at the time there was no big comic boom or anything like that. But books were still like, like they at that time they seemed expensive for what
they
they were.
We were broke. Everything was expensive.
So she came to me and she's like, I knew what I was getting her for a wedding gift. And she came to me and I thought of something that was cheaper, but, could be potentially around that same price, but you should be able to get it for cheaper. And she told me what I told her an Iron Man #1. Well, then, we go to like give each other our gift, and I open mine up and it's not an Iron Man #1. However, it's a Tales of Suspense #40, which is the second appearance of Iron Man. And I was like, sitting there, freaking jaw dropped, because it's actually a decent copy too. And she was so worried. She's like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I must have got the wrong book, blah, 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 blah. I said, you did, but this is better. I said, why did you do that? You didn't have to do this. And you're like, you told me you wanted the first Iron Man, and I couldn't do that. So I thought, the second Iron. I said, like, I'm glad we had miscommunication there.
I knew zero about comics then, like absolutely.
At that point, yeah.
I don't misunderstand things like that anymore.
That's fun. But yeah, it was Tales of Suspense 40. That's what you got me.
I can't remember.
So.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Now it's on to like the runs that I'm collecting.
Okay.
So, let's do it like. Should we do this?
How many runs are you collecting? And is that like?
Oh, that's a dangerous question.
Is it typical for you to collect that many at a time, whatever that number is?
What do you mean typical?
Like, do you usually have, like, I don't know how many runs you're collecting right now, but like if it's, I don't know, 6 runs that you're collecting, like, are you usually collecting that many at a time?
So I collect a bunch at one time because I don't know what deals I will come across. So it's not necessarily that I'm 100% going for these books all the time, but it's enough variety for me to be able to be like, oh, here's a good deal on this book. This will go towards that run.
Yeah.
I'll grab that. You know what I mean? It scratches that itch.
Yeah.
Of like wanting to pick up something, wanting to add something to the collection, but without having to like necessarily spend a bunch of money on, one book or 2 books or whatever the case is. Like, I'll sit there, I'll have a time where I find a bunch of Walking Dead books for $5 a piece. That's a fantastic deal, if they're in good condition. So like, no, I'm not putting that $5 towards my Iron Man run, but I am getting these amazing deals on these Walking Dead books, which I want to complete as well.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, like I feel like first and foremost, I'm all about deals. Like I love getting a good deal, a good price on a book. And so I feel like having multiple runs going that I am interested in and want, that if I find like having good deals, or like it kind of does both worlds where I'm like doing runs, but I'm getting good deals.
So do you collect runs because you want to read them, or do you collect runs because you're a completist and you just want them all?
I'm a completist. But like to a point where, so certain runs, I don't have to have a full run of that. And like, we're going to see that as we're going through some of these books. Some of it's because I like the history of it, but it's still like, I want to complete it because I'm a completist.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then some of it's like, I am interested in reading it, but like some of these books are old and, I can't, I don't know that I feel comfortable opening them up and reading them.
Fair enough.
So yeah, we're talking about Doctor Strange earlier. He's got a long stint in Strange Tales. Well, I haven't started working on Strange Tales. I have a couple of them, but I haven't started like really honing in and focusing and like trying to pick up those Strange Tales because I still have Tales of Suspense from 39 up to complete.
Mm-hmm.
And however, he had a nice little like run in Marvel Premiere, and so I started picking those up when I find them for good prices. So like I'll find a Marvel Premiere book for like, $10 or so, and I'm like, if it's in like really good shape, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna pick that up. That's awesome. Because this has got some keys in it, and it's like from issue number, I don't know, issue 3 or 4 to like 16 or 17. So like it's not a big run.
Mm.
But like this is, this is kind of like right after Tales of To Astonish. So, and like he had his own kind of like run there for a little bit in between, but I don't think that lasted long either. And it was just an extension of Strange Tales. I apologize, not Tales of Astonish, but Strange Tales. So, yep. So that's a small one that I work on. Here's another small one that I work on, and like it's just interesting to me, and I think it's overlooked. But before there was a Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider, there was a Western Ghost Rider, by the way, by the name of I think it's Slade Grant or Grant Slade. Name's escaping me. Anyways, this is like a 7 or 8 issue run. It's all Silver Age. I'm missing like I'm missing issue number 1 and number 7. I know for sure, but I can't remember if that went to 8 or not. But I think there's only 2 issues that I'm missing. It's 1 and 7. So,
So when you say Western Ghost Rider,
yeah,
like what do you mean Western Ghost Rider?
so this is a Western title. Like he's a cowboy. He's fighting other like cowboys and Indians and stuff like that. And like he's just dressed in all white. Like he doesn't have a flaming head and all that other jazz. It wasn't until Johnny Blaze that they started doing that and the spirit of vengeance and stuff. However, we saw this Ghost Rider in the first Nicolas Cage movie. He was the graveyard guy. And so when he like got on his horse and it flamed up,
Oh.
like, that was this guy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really
cool.
cool. Huh.
Yerp.
Well, you like Ghost Rider anyway.
I kind of, yeah. He's not. I'm
not
not
like
a
that. You're
big
like,
fan.
yeah,
I like the character, and he's not something. He's not something I collect though, really.
yeah.
So, Deadman. Deadman's a character that I really like. I've got a freaking pitch for a Deadman TV show that I think would be fantastic. I would at least love, anyways. I don't know that anybody else would, but Strange Adventures is when Deadman like first appears, and he's got a little stint that's like from 205 to like 217. And so I've been collecting those. So I really like Deadman. This is his second appearance. This is 206. If I remember that right. Is that right? It's really hard to see. Yeah, 206. So, second appearance, Deadman. Character I really like. Nice little run. It's like Strange, Adventures goes for a long ways. And like after this, Animal Man, I believe, gets introduced, or right before it. It's one or the other. And I'm not looking to, complete the Strange Adventures run, but I am looking to complete the Deadman run of Strange Adventures. So,
He kind of looks like he got into Cleopatra's makeup and then put on Dracula's costume.
Poor buddy.
Poor buddy.
So Boston Brad is a ghost, and he essentially like possesses people, like takes control of their body. But that's to do like hero work and stuff. So yeah, he's a phantom.
All right then.
Yeah.
Deadman it is.
Deadman. Justice League of America. I want to get I want to get issues 1 through 25, 27. This is the earliest one that I got. This is issue number 4, and it's pretty beat up, but still complete, and it's all there. So that's another run that I'm kind of like working on. Like, I don't want all of Justice League of America. Like, that's a massive run. But like, if I got 1 through 25, I'd be good. Like, I would like that. So
Yeah. What do you think is the oldest comic that you have?
it's actually in this pile, if I remember right. So I can go ahead and show it. The oldest book that I've got, that I know of anyways, off the top of my head, is this Green Hornet number 5.
Oh yeah.
I just recently got this. It's not complete, but it's a Green Hornet number 5, and it's not missing much. So I don't know that I'll ever see another Green Hornet number 5. And yeah, I think this is 19. I can't remember, and I don't want to pull it out. I think this is 1940 something. I think this may be 44, maybe, or maybe it's late 40s, maybe it's 49. I think it's 1940s. Is what I think. This would be the oldest.
That's pretty cool.
Regardless, so this is older than the green. This is older than the Lone Ranger books that I have. So,
That's pretty cool.
Comic Fan is in the house. What's going on? That is old. It is old. It is old. That's funny. Something that's not so old. However, I think it's really cool. I really enjoy the Brave and the Bold series. It's kind of an overlooked series, I think. I found a lot of issues in the dollar bins, like good condition issues in the dollar bins. This was not a dollar bin comic. However, it's still part of it, and I really like it. And it is Brave and the Bold number 29. This is the second appearance of the Justice League in comic books. So, yeah.
That's pretty cool looking. I like the colors.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
That's pretty cool.
And then I think this is like issue... I'll take this one out. I don't mind taking this one out. We've talked about them a couple times throughout the evening. This is issue... I'll just make sure what I'm going to say real quick. I think it's 7. No, it's 8. Okay. So this is issue number 8 of The Lone Ranger. And this is from 1949 right here.
That's in really good shape.
Right? Right? And there's the back that I'm talking about. And not every issue 1 through 30, whatever, 35, 36, whatever it is, has a portrait on the back. But it's like 35 or 36 is when they stop. And they just don't do them anymore. And so that's why I want it. So I don't want a complete Lone Ranger run, but I want up until they stop doing these is what I wanted. So, but yeah, I really, really liked it. And like I said, I'm picking these up for like $10 to $20 a book. And they're Golden Age. Like, it's, a lot of people will pay $100 and something for a Golden Age book, and like these are actually in like really good shape. So beautiful. Thank you. I like it. I think it's awesome. So
beautiful.
Wonder Woman.
I was behind a car with a Wonder Woman like a personalized tag, and it said Wonder Woman. I almost took a picture of it to send it to you. I thought it was funny. Ellie would have liked it.
I was gonna say, since it's the youngest.
Well, is that all your books?
That is all my books. I've gone through them all.
You've gone through them all?
All. It's all 22.
Well, is there anything about the way you collect or why you even do a YouTube channel, or like anything that you would like for people to know about what you do or why you do it or how you do it that we haven't talked about.
What I do, why I do, and how I do it. I One of the driving reasons of why I do the YouTube channel is because there was the market when I first got into doing YouTube was kind of crazy. A lot of people were buying a lot of books at ridiculous prices. And that's not to say that I haven't succumbed to FOMO or anything like that. I wanted to be that channel though that you could go to and find somewhere to scratch that itch for not the same cost. I wanted people to know there was other books that you could look for, other books that were cool, other books had cool covers, had awesome writing, had whatever it was that was like the hot top 10, like that was the whole point of the top 10 alternatives.
Yeah.
Was sitting there and like giving, an alternative to the top 10 of like, yo, these are the top 10 books. Don't buy these right now. This is not a good time to buy those. You need to be looking at something else. And these books you may actually enjoy. And if you don't, that's fine. However, maybe they'll make you think of something else though. Something I haven't thought of. And get you diving deeper into like comic books and as far as like things you could enjoy.
Yeah.
So
I'll say that.
that's the why.
I think when you, I don't know, and this may sound cheesy, I don't know, but like, I feel like when I hear you like getting into conversations with people and talking about stuff, and like, even when it's like, Monday night top 10 alternatives that are every Monday. When you do that and I hear you talking about it, like, you're so genuine about it and you get excited about it and you like it when other people get excited about it, and you are so good about supporting other channels and supporting other people. And I don't know, you can just really tell that you enjoy it and you love it and you're excited about it, and you're somebody that's fun to watch, and it's cool to hear about all the knowledge that you have. And that's why I wanted to like interview you, because I feel like you have so much to offer the comic book community that's more than what they get to see every day. And so I just think that's really cool. I don't know. So, yeah.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I don't like being in first I don't like being on a bunch of I don't like being on a screen with a bunch of people. And it's like my own insecurities is why. Like I feel like I'm a fairly quiet person for the most part, and a fairly private person as well. I mean, I've been doing this for, going on 4 years now, and I haven't really come out and like said straight up like what my actual name is and stuff. Like I try to keep a lot of my stuff private, and so like I don't know. I just I don't really do a whole lot of the jumping on live streams with people and stuff like that and the hangouts. And like I just don't do that. That's not, and I'm not knocking them or anything like that. It's just that's not my.
It's not you.
It's not my thing. It's not what I do. Which was part of the reason why I started this collecting Uncensored, was because I wanted to acknowledge the fact that like, yes, I did need to like connect with other collectors, but I don't necessarily like there just wasn't a space to like actually, for me anyways, to do it to where it was like I could actually connect with another collector kind of thing. And so I feel like that does kind of like put me on the outs of other like other things, because like I'm not making those friendships, I'm not making those connections and stuff like that. So but Yeah, I mean that's I guess that's just me. That's just part of my channel. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, cool.
Hyper combo in the house. What's going on, Hyper? Appreciate you very much. Los Cruces coming in with the info right here. Green Hornet number 5 from June 1941.
That's crazy.
41. It's older than my parents.
A lot older. Just tell your dad you said that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You mean your name is 22? Right. Yeah. Now there is a way to there is an open way to find out my name. I do go by my real name on the podcast. So it's just Jeremy and Richard have known me by that name. They didn't know me by 22, and so to help with editing and just the overall flow of the podcast, there was I just didn't I never tried to go by 22 on the podcast. So it just kind of seemed a little silly over there. So there is a way to find out my actual real name or whatever, but yeah.
Well, and you can find that out by listening to the Comically Comics podcast every Monday, a new episode every Monday. So just in case y'all didn't know that.
Yep. All podcatchers.
Well, that's all I've got, honey. Thank you for letting me do this and show your collection and talk a little bit about it.
Well, thanks for showing interest and coming on here and having fun. So
you're welcome. Next time I'll do my collection.
Yeah, you've got books. They're over here.
It'll be a much shorter episode. Like a commercial.
You'll be surprised however many books will go. That was just an hour and 51 minutes for 22 books.
Yeah. Well, yeah, my 6 will get us about 30 minutes.
There's more than 6 over there. You've lost count.
But they're pretty.
They are pretty. Cool. Well, thank you, honey, for wanting to do this. So
you're welcome.
I appreciate your interest in my collection and your support in my collection. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Everybody in the chat, thank y'all so much for coming and hanging out this evening. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you got some laughs in as well. Let us know down in the comments what you thought. I know S. Vaughn said something about we should do this more regular or whatever, me and the missus. So let us know down in the comments what y'all think. To everyone else out there, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, especially to TJ right here. Thank y'all so much for watching. I appreciate you all. Come check out and hang out with us. The top 10 alternatives this coming up Monday. And then the Monday after that will be the last top 10 alternatives of the month, the year, and will be the 1,000 subscriber giveaway show as well. So I'm pretty sure the missiles will be back on for that as well. Outside of that, thank you all so much for the support and love. I appreciate you all, and we'll talk to y'all later. As always, y'all have a good one.
Okay, bye.